greatest cover-ups of our time. What is the real cover-up in the Ukraine scandal? The answer is actually important. It could impact Donald Trump's impeachment trial, and it's where our special report begins right now. What you're looking at here is the ultimate in impeachment counter-programming from the conservative outlet One America News, or OAN. That's a name you might recognize as the media company that goes sometimes where Fox News will not. And for this report tonight, we reached out to both OAN and Rudy Giuliani for comment. Giuliani did not provide public comment, but OAN has told us, this is in a new statement, that they featured a number of guests, including Giuliani, as is typical on the Ukraine trip they paid for his travel. I should also note that the OAN network is suing MSNBC over a comment made on our air about them. Now, Herring also has told Politico that some media outlets won't acknowledge proven facts, won't do their own time-consuming and costly investigative work if the facts don't fit their narrative. And he also said they lean to the right, no doubt about it. Now, when the Trump administration was cracking down on free speech by expelling a journalist from the White House, which is government property, consider this interesting story. Media outlets united in a joint suit in court against Donald Trump, and it included Fox News. That case was pretty straightforward, so much so that the journalist in there essentially won and was returned access to the White House. But while media outlets and Fox were basically over here, united in saying, hey, there are some lines the Trump administration can't cross, OAN sided with the Trump effort to crack down on reporters' access, an unusual position for a media outlet. Now, critics also argue that some OAN segments really do seem to go beyond covering certain political agendas to looking like they may endorse them.
One America News looks at these attacks, what we know and what we don't know, in our special report, Betrayal at Benghazi, the cost of Hillary Clinton's dereliction and greed.
Antifa is at war with your government.
They're brainwashed communists trying to kill people.
The Democrats have nothing to run on, so they resorted to racist and xenophobe and all these other things.
The Washington Post reporting that some of that coverage was more pro-Trump and less journalistic than Fox News, and, quote, rife with the conspiracy theories that circulated widely in Trumpland. So it's noticeable when OAN broadcasts a special featuring the president's lawyer going back to Ukraine. Now, Politico reported on this big Giuliani special, noting that OAN is trying to outfox Fox and that it challenges journalistic ethics for OAN to, quote, give Giuliani a direct role in preparing its Ukraine report. But this really matters. Millions of viewers in America may think, well, if it looks like news, if it acts like news, it must be somewhat credible news. And this is in a world of fake articles online that are designed to make you think they're real, and lying presidential tweets, and now even these deep fake videos. Now, there's nothing unusual about the president's lawyer going out to make his case. We've had President Trump's lawyer on this very show. The factual issue is how it is done, with Giuliani and OAN participating in what are joint interviews and something you don't usually see in a lot of this coverage. So with all of this in mind, now take a look at what the OAN special comprises.
We waded through a dark and murky swamp of deep state collusion, Democrat impeachment delusions, and nefarious charges against Giuliani.
Hey, jerks. It means the same thing.
For this next act in the Democrats' impeachment fairy tale, they needed a villain, a damsel, and a prince. Multiple Ukrainian sources said that Yovanovitch's embassy was colloquially dubbed the Clinton campaign headquarters.
This is the evidence. I am happy that I have this document, because how I could explain to American public that I am right?
Who controls NABU?
The U.S. Embassy.
The U.S. Embassy controls your law enforcement bureau?
Now, as this special continues, Giuliani appears in discussions that could look like interviews, and he makes some claims that have actually already been contradicted by his client, Donald Trump. Giuliani says that Ukraine, the whole issue that they were pursuing, basically fell in his lap as a matter of public interest. Trump has publicly confirmed he asked Giuliani to work on it.
The narrative right now is that you looked into Ukraine because Biden was running for president.
Complete lie. I looked into Ukraine because it was thrown at me, put in my lap.
OAN special also includes Ukrainian officials that back up Giuliani's view that the push for some of those investigations, which are at the heart of the impeachment probe, was a just cause. Giuliani also rolls out a claim that senators might really want to learn about at this coming Trump impeachment trial. Giuliani saying he wanted to defend Trump in the Mueller probe by proving, quote, somebody else committed the crime.
In Ukraine, many people believe that that request for investigation was just a request for justice.
That's the investigation I began in November of 2018. At that time, he was in the middle of the Mueller investigation. The president was.
And you were his personal...
And as his defense attorney, this is like gold. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I can prove somebody else committed the crime. And that's why I started it. And the President of the United States, I can tell you this, is asking for this.
Amazing. Just let me just say exactly why I think that's amazing. In this format that Giuliani may have extra control over, he still is making mistakes that hurt his client Trump. First, he just revealed directions from his client that could otherwise be protected under attorney-client privilege. Second, he's suggesting a crime occurred that he could put on someone else. Anyone getting him under oath would ask, what crime from the Mueller probe are you talking about? Was it charged? And then third, he outs Trump as, quote, asking for this on that program. But Donald Trump denied asking or directing Giuliani to do this in an interview on Bill O'Reilly's podcast.
The January.
You didn't direct him to go to Ukraine to do anything or put any heat on him?
No, I didn't direct him, but he is a warrior. Rudy's a warrior.
If you believe Giuliani, Trump's lying right there. If you believe Trump, Giuliani was lying. Either way, somebody is fibbing about one of the greatest scandals of this era, the cause of the impeachment of the first elected first-term president in American history. And as the Senate prepares to hold Trump on trial for all of this, among other issues in Ukraine, it is key to understanding the president's potential defense. And on OAN, viewers are quite familiar with this 2018 video showing Joe Biden detailing how the Obama administration pressured Ukraine to remove a prosecutor as a U.S. priority. Now, Giuliani views this as a, quote, confession to one of the things that Trump has stood accused of, seeking a bribe.
The January 2018 confession of Joe Biden, in which Joe Biden laid out in about 2.5 minutes a total definition and a total confession to the crime of bribery. I don't think I've ever seen as concise and as tight and as clear a confession. But worse than that, I saw a confession with proof of guilty knowledge.
Proof? Well, Giuliani saw a confession of Biden seeking a personal benefit. Bloomberg journalists reported actually the request was a broader Obama administration policy emanating from U.S. diplomats, not hatched by Biden, while other reports fact-checked the very claim that the company linked to Hunter Biden was under investigation at the time, which gives context to Biden's story.
I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
Now, depending on what you know and what you bring to this and how it's presented, people might see something different when that Biden tape plays. Prepare to see that tape a lot more, by the way. It is worth noting that other parts of Giuliani's Ukraine trip also don't seem to amount to much. At one point, the OAN anchor talks up the idea that Giuliani is ending his, quote, Ukrainian absence to meet in person with another Ukrainian caught up in the story on their trip. But it's not even clear what everyone is supposed to glean from this advertised reunion.
Now, at the prospect of meeting Shokin and other witnesses face-to-face, the mayor decided to break his streak of Ukrainian absence. We landed in Kiev, and America's mayor stepped foot in Ukraine for the first time in 2 years.
And we know from this photo the anchor posted online that this seemed to go down in Ukraine on December 5th, which, amazingly, is the very day Donald Trump's Ukraine plot formally boomeranged on him, with everything Giuliani was doing turning into a formal march towards impeachment.
The facts of the Ukraine situation just changed everything. The Ukraine was the vehicle of the president's action. Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America. Today, I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
And that's where this story gets much broader than which particular media outlet Rudy Giuliani is talking to and whether he's in Ukraine to make TV specials or make money or make, I don't know, strategic contributions to Donald Trump's reelection. Because one thing that people who support and oppose impeachment can all see is Rudy Giuliani's plot to hurt Biden backfired and hurt Trump, his client. And this is really an ancient storyline. A seemingly intricate plot backfires on its own mastermind. So ancient, it's a verse in Proverbs, and for the less religious, you might also remember it from Bob Marley's version. Whosoever dig a pit shall fall in it. And maybe that's why even some of Trump's most hardcore defenders have become worried Giuliani could fall in his own pit.
I think it's a little weird that Rudy Giuliani's over in the Ukraine right now, and I'm not here to defend Rudy Giuliani. There's apparently an investigation going on.
If you're going to go on national television and tell the country that you found evidence of a cover-up, then I hope you know what you're talking about. It's just not good for the country to make these accusations on cable television without them being tested.
So if Lindsey Graham, a well-known Trump defender, who's one of the senators that will determine the president's fate in this impeachment trial, is doubting Giuliani's approach of accusations on TV without testing them, as he put it, then even looking past the Senate trial, Senator Graham chairs a powerful committee. He has subpoena power. He's already put some heat on Giuliani by suggesting he's invited to put up or go away.
I'm going to have an open invitation to Rudy Giuliani to come to the Senate Judiciary Committee and tell us what you found. And if he comes, you got to be willing to ask questions about your conduct.
His conduct. Questions would surely be asked in that forum. And how will they be answered? Well, sometimes whosoever dig a pit keeps on digging.
I would testify. I would do demonstrations, I'd give lectures, I'd give summations.
Hey, jerks. It means the same thing.
We have the transcript of the call.
These are the elements of the crime of bribery.
Why am I doing it, Laura? Can't you figure it out? I'm his defense lawyer.
Ukrainian collusion, Ukrainian corruption.
I will compliment myself because I do a pretty good job for him.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.